I'm a bad motherfucker.
Guess what? This is from the Oxford Academic QJM Medical Journal. There's a new study, a potential association between COVID-19 vaccination and development of Alzheimer's disease.
What?
Hey, wait a minute. How many boosters have I had? 9, 12? I can't remember. Better top me off with a booster just to be safe. Who am I again? What's my name? Can of corn? Baby's born?
It says my name is Ji-Hoon Ro MD on there.
Boy, let me tell do the benefits of this COVID vaccine ever stop? It just keeps getting better and better. What's going to happen next after this? You're going to find out you just start pissing fire every morning, actually? Hey, doctors are calling it dragon dick. There's no cure. You know what? The good thing is we won't remember any of this in a few weeks. That's the good thing.
I've already forgotten, Jimmy.
We're going to move on to supporting Biden because now we do relate to him.
Obama has to lead me off the stage now.
Here's the app. So this is what the background. The challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic extend to concerns about vaccine side effects, particularly the potential links to neurodegenerative diseases such as the Alzheimer's disease. This study investigates the association between COVID-19 vaccine and the onset of Alzheimer's disease, or as I call it, old-timers disease, and its prodromal state, mild cognitive impairment. The design, so they had to design. I'm not reading all that. Free Palestine. The study, conducted in Seoul, South Korea, analyzed data from random 50% sample of city residents aged 65 and above, totaling blah, 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 blah. So they did. And so what were the conclusions? That's what I really care about. The conclusions. Findings showed an increased incidence of MCI and AD. So that's, what is that? What did they say MCI is again? Mild cognitive impairment. So AD
that's fine.
and A.
Oh, that's no big deal.
Findings showed an increased incidence of mild cognitive impairment and Alzheimer's disease in vaccinated individuals. Findings showed an increased incidence of cognitive impairment and Alzheimer's disease in people who got vaxxed. An increase incidence. That's what this study showed.
So it makes me a little slow.
Particularly those receiving mRNA vaccines. You mean not the Johnson & Johnson? No, the mRNA ones. Within 3 months post-vaccination. Within 3 months. The mRNA vaccine group exhibited a significantly higher incidence of Alzheimer's disease. So, and MCI. No significant relationship was found with vascular dementia or Parkinson's disease. I don't know what any of this stuff means, but what that means is a higher concentration of in the people who were vaxxed. So the conclusions. Preliminary evidence suggests a potential link between COVID-19 vaccine. By the way, when you look at this, it looks like they did more work studying this than they did with coming up with the actual vaccine.
I'm pretty sure they did because the confidence interval is a lot higher on this than with the other one where they didn't bother with that shit.
Yeah. I bet but I'm pretty sure all the microplastics in our body will cancel out all this shit.
Yeah, you gotta.
Right? Am I wrong? Come on.
I just jam everything in there and let it fight it out.
So the conclusions, preliminary evidence suggests a potential link between COVID-19 vaccination, particularly mRNA vaccines, and increased incidences of AD and MCI. This underscores the need. Could they understate it more? This underscores the need for further research to elucidate the relationship between vaccine-induced immune responses and neurodegenerative processes, advocating for continuous monitoring and investigation into vaccines' long-term Again, that's just what I've always said. How can you mandate something that has no long-term studies? No one knows what's going to happen. We still don't know. It takes 10 years.
It'll be fun finding out during the middle of World War III how it's going to shake out for us.
Do you think that that's what happened? That Biden staff accidentally gave him the real? Maybe that's why his sentences all come out like they sound like IKEA assembling instructions. And here is a potential association between COVID-19 vaccination and development of Alzheimer's disease. So they give you a nice little chart. So, by the way, this is just a study, and they say that it needs further study. So this isn't, I can't say this is conclusive by any means, and I'm not, and I'm also not going against what the FDA and the CDC say, which they say that the COVID-19
still get boosted again.
Still, you would be on your 10th booster right now.
It just underscores a need to look into it, but in the meantime, get a lot more than boosters. Put them in your kids.
And the CDC is recommending your 10th booster.
And don't, by the way, if it does make your kids slow, don't even worry about it. The Army will still take them.
The Army will still take them, but it doesn't. It doesn't make your kids slow, and according to the FDA and the CDC, it's safe and effective.
Well, maybe their brain. If you saw Forrest Gump, his legs were
and
fast,
it doesn't.
But his, his head was slow.
Sure, it doesn't stop the transmission or contraction. What vaccine does?
Just all the ones I had in my life up until that point.
But it will slow. It will slow the transmission and contraction,
myself.
And it'll keep you from seriously getting sick, hospitalized, or death. That's the beauty of that COVID vaccine. It's beautiful.
You know, I'm starting to get polio because my bitch sister didn't get vaccinated against polio back in the day.
I know, me too.
And it gave me polio. That's a real thing that happens.
This is kind of a self-perpetuating thing, right? Because you're going to forget you got the vax, and then you're going to get another one.
Yeah, that's how Heath Ledger. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, again, safe and effective. The CDC, FDA still recommending them. So this study, we need more study. That's what it says. That's all it really says.
This is a Korean study, and I predict with this China war, Asian prejudice will be coming back big, so don't listen to them.
Is it Oh, yeah, they did do it. You're right. They did do it in Seoul, South Korea.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, over to Steph.
All right. Israel is to the U.S. what North Korea is to the PRC, both nuclear and armed pariah states, ruled by a supremacist ideology and total liability for their patrons, except Koreans or peeps married to them aren't 90% of XJP's cabinet. Road warrior.
Yeah, I don't think North Koreans have a powerful lobbying group inside China.
I don't think so.
I don't think they run the Chinese government.
SS biologist Rupert Sheldrake, also called morphic resonance. I've experienced it directly in family constellations. Amazing. Wikipedia says pseudoscience. SS. Cornpop. Alchemy is the Kabbalah. They had to go underground after persecutions and veiled it under alchemical ciphers and called it alchemy.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy, can you stop relying on cokehead Freud thought of dreams? For fuck's sake, Cornpop, he's talking about Jung. Not Freud.
Talking about Jung, not Freud.
So, for fuck's sake there, buddy. All right, let's see here. No, I really don't want more moo. Okay, that's PW Project. Oedipus complex, penis, envy, etc. were ways of blaming the powerless child instead of the powerful parent, a theme you can see running through society, SS. When Bill Clinton said, did not have sexual relations with that woman, he was referring to Hillary, savage. A watered-down version of Bill's slogan, I'm in her, road warrior. Freud's theory, original theory that childhood sex abuse caused his PTS psychological problems was correct. Then he caved to power, backtracked, and blamed the victim, SS.
Penis envy, is that still used in as a valid? Because I like, anytime a woman's around me, like, you just envy my penis. That's why you're complaining. Oh, what do you wish you had a penis?
Yeah.
Envy's not attractive, ladies.
DC says MMT is how kids view economics, creating inflation. The amazing Blumpkin, Hillary supporter, is giving me a bisp. Road warrior, sorry I missed you in Edmonton, Jimmy. See you next tour. That you got that right.
You
Road
missed that
warrior.
show. That was a great show.
Fun. Why don't these guys tell the truth that there is no money? Oh boy. Money printer goes brr, savage. Jimmy, what if I invest in rubles or euros? Will they go down too? Ristos. It's funny seeing people worry so much about hashtag S on a screen when the real problem is the dwindling health and availability of what actually keeps us alive, SS. They tax us to reduce inflation from the demand created from expanding the economy through government demand and private bank loans. Steve Keen can explain. Steve Keen. Let me write that name down. I didn't think I saw that one earlier. Steve Keen, thank you, Christopher Dobby.
Look, the whole thing is set up to help the one world government, which they call the International Rules-Based Order, and George H.W. called the New World Order, which I dismissed, which is weird because they openly said, we're going to make this. I was like, that's a conspiracy. Is it? If he said it out loud in a speech?
I'm dismissing it. SS, our birthright is to be able to live on this earth and not have to worry about all this money and number manipulation stuff. This is part of mental slavery. Dean,
it's literal slavery.
However, in the 80s, the price of houses has been taken out of consumer price index in order to hide the real inflation rate. Piss poor management from the top down.
Yeah, that's when it's not a consumer product no more. It's an investment.
That's why?
Right. That's how I understand. I could be wrong. But
I'm giving this to Jimmy to
stop
pay.
being a consumer good.
Yeah, I didn't know that, Dean, by the way. Joel, I'm giving this to Jimmy to pay down the deficit. Thank you, Joel. Your house price is going up via banks creating loans by double entry bookkeeping. All this focusing on government missed the point. 90% of the demand is from banks. Christopher Dobby.
The banks are the government, so you know.
Oh.
The governments, those are actors. None of them. Did you notice how nothing you want happens, no matter what you vote for? What does that tell you? This is Boeing. There a big merger happened at some point, and their private equity hollowed us out, and that's what you see.
Thank you. SS, we think we can use and abuse the earth forever and will always be there for us and give us whatever we need. Seems we'll have to learn our limits the hard way. I don't want to learn the hard way.
What is all this we shit? I didn't do none of that, okay? I'm not in charge of what they drill or where they dump it or any of that shit. Why is it always being put on? We didn't do it. Very few people took control of everything. Okay. And they do that.
Right.
And then they go, you guys were bad. I must be in charge of all the oil.
Right. Hey, Degenerate Society, this is dumb. Please have Tom Woods on. Okay, regarding MMT. All right, let me write that down. Tom Woods. I'm taking notes, folks.
What are you going to regurgitate, you Tom Woods? I don't think that's what he said in the movie.
Okay,
it was
ready?
Gordon Wood.
Okay, back to Jimmy.
No more! I yield! I yield! Oh!
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletter. Just visit
Isn't it swell? The memes make themselves. They found a rabbi hole, tunnels and all. There's Jews in the walls. Isn't it bliss? The rabbinical grace soiling the mattresses. Well, let me tell you. If I were Rabbi Shmuley and diddle 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 digga digga diddle diddle dum, all day long I'd diddle little bums. If I were a Shmuley man, I'd peddle all my dildos, dreidel dildos, selling dildos with my daughter and her mum. If I were a Jewish Shmuley man, I'd be digging with a dildo in my bum. I'd wear a grotesque nose and go grab some goyim right on the nipple with a pinch. A Shabbos lap dance brace for the youngest mensch.
At this time, more than any other time, you know, revolution is necessary. It is necessary. Not only based on what has happened with the MOVE organization, you know, the babies that have been murdered, you know, MOVE adults that have been murdered, bombs being dropped on us, but past that to what is happening with all black people, so-called minority people, you know, money poor people. You know, this government, as has been said earlier, has waged war on us. But you know, something about us, particularly here in America, we don't really understand that. You know, we don't really know what war is. You know, for black people, for poor people, that people see as good, that they wasn't forced to do, that they didn't do to try to keep black people appeased, you know, and calm down so that black people wouldn't riot. A prison situation is a crystallized example of that. You can make phone calls in prison. They have movies in prison. But they don't have those things because they just want to be nice to prisoners. They have those things because they know damn well if they don't have, you know, people being able to contact their family, if they don't have, you know, facilities for people to sit there and watch movies, people are going to be frustrated, upset, and they're going to direct that frustration at them prison administrators. And they're going to have riots on their hands. You know, they're going to have people in them prisons turning them prisons out. That's why they have movies. That's why they have access to phones the way they do. And a stop to it when we don't like it, or encouraging it when it's something that's in our interest. You know, we have to call the shots. The people have to take the reins of this system and start dictating, you know, what we need, what needs to be done. And, you know, taking the initiative to do it ourselves. We can't rely on this system. I mean, you know, don't people see what's happening? Every single confrontation that MOVE people have been involved in, every single issue, you know, oppression, economic issues, every single issue facing our people, you know, is something that can be dealt with very, very simply. All people got to do is make their wishes known. All people have to do is stand up and say, listen, we're not accepting that. Unity is the key. Unity is the key to revolution. Revolution ain't nothing to be afraid of. It ain't nothing to shy away from. Revolution, contrary to what officials, you know, this system and those backing the officials running this system, you know, want people to believe that revolution means violence, you know, means blood in the street. I'm saying it can get to that point, but it don't have to be violent. You know, when people come together and take a strong stand on an issue, this government don't have no choice but to listen. Where you think they get their authority from? They don't have no power, but they do have authority to do certain things. Where you think they get it from? They get it from us, from the people. You know, they get it from us accepting the things that they do to be done to stop it. Then you have some people who want to then turn around and say, yeah, well, you know, it's the best we have, and want to make excuses. The time for excuses is over. It's over. You know, every man, woman, and child has to be involved in this revolution. Not only has to be, but is, whether you want to be or not. I mean, our babies gave their lives for this revolution on May 13th. You know, men, women, and children were murdered. And not just move babies, you know. What about all of the young men, women, you know, children 8, 9 years old shot down on the street by cops, you know, by drug pushers? I mean, you know, where do you think that mentality comes from? It comes from this system, from the mentality of this system of getting over, you know, making a quick buck, you know. I'm saying that's where that needs to be done to stop it. Then, you know, what I want people to really, really understand is that it's past time. It is past time for poor people, black people, you know, to realize that this system has failed you. It has failed you. You can't get nothing from it. And what people got to do is withdraw our support from it and start doing for ourselves. That's what we got to do. You know, how long are people going to sit back and beg, you know, this government to do what's right when for hundreds of years all you've gotten is a slap in the face? All you've gotten is this government kicking your ass. That's all. That's all black people have ever gotten from this government.